At the 1964-65 New York World's Fair, the Simmons Company, you know, the beauty rest people, had a pavilion called the World of Enchantment. For $1, you could rent a rest alcove for 1/2 an hour and take a nap. The alcoves on one side of the corridor were for women, the alcoves on the other side for men, and attendants in the corridor made sure no one crossed the hallway. Great idea, right? Why don't we have anything like that at Walt Disney World? Well, because we don't need it. We have the Hall of Presidents.
We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who hear.
Just about everyone knows that the Abraham Lincoln animatronic first appeared at the 1964-65 World's Fair in the Illinois exhibit. It was called Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln. This was the first time anyone had seen a full-size human animatronic, and it was a really big deal. I was there in 1964, and it kind of looked like one of those robotic street performers in California.
Consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract.
This kind-hearted, tough guy fought against monopolies and for the working class.
Nowadays, Abe Lincoln is just the opening act. He's followed by the film, which was produced in 1907 by D.W. Griffith. All right, I'm only kidding about that. But if you brought your kids along, now is the time to tuck them in and kiss them on the forehead. Nighty-night. All right, it's time to wake up the kids, because this is the money shot. This is the reason that I go to the Hall of Presidents on every single trip to Disney World. Where else can you see all 43 of our presidents on stage, alive and breathing, being introduced? It's just amazing, and the most patriotic experience in all of Walt Disney World.
The American dream is as old as our founding, but as timeless as our hopes. It is reborn every day in the heart of every child who wakes up in a land of limitless possibilities.
You may have noticed that I just said 43 presidents, and yet Barack Obama is listed as our 44th president. Well, that's because Grover Cleveland was actually elected to 2 non-consecutive... Oh, who cares?
A spirit of courage and determination, of kindness and generosity.
I also like to play this kind of Simon game and see how many presidents I can remember in a row. Let's see how I do this time.
Ladies and gentlemen, the presidents of the United States. George Washington.
George Washington.
John Adams.
George Washington, John Adams.
Thomas Jefferson.
George Washington, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson.
James Madison.
George Washington, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison.
Monroe.
George Washington, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson,
John Quincy.
I also love the end sequence, which features this beautiful song that... Wait, what?